and I'm just gonna introduce the game real quick, okay? I'm just gonna do it. All right. Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our playthrough of Silent Hill. Silent Hill, if you didn't know, it's a series about a town in Maine with a dark past. Based on the real town of Centralia, Pennsylvania, in which a coal fire underground turned the place into a ghost town overnight, Silent Hill is a sleepy tourist town with a darkness hiding underneath the surface. A different reality of fog and one of shadow and rust and metal, where a cult's evil god spawns angels who take the form of your own inner demons to torment you for your guilt and sin. Except no, it's not. I lied. All of that. I lied about all of it. None of that's true. No! Stop it. You're so mean to me. Oh my gosh. Y'all are gonna make Matt have a conniption, actually. But first, a word from our sponsor. Did you know that when you're watching your favorite streaming services, your choices are limited by which country you're in? They region lock those things. Did you know that your access on Netflix or Amazon streaming might be different if you were in Canada? That's because capitalism is a system that rewards ownership and exploitation. And that this will not happen under the system of capital oppression. I don't have a VPN to sell you. I just want you to overthrow capital. Let's go, comrades. You got nothing to lose but your chains. Yeah. Love y'all. Facebook arc, let's go.
Could have been worse. Could have been for Manscaped.
Fair. Can I keep some of the chains for fun times later? I have always said that there should be no oppressive hierarchies. There should be no... I don't believe in hierarchies. However, I do believe in completely willing consensual hierarchies for sexy times. I think that's all right. Absolutely. If you want a completely, voluntary hierarchy, then yeah, you can have that. That's all right. But all of that was a lie. But a lot of people think that it's true. And I want to explain why. By the end of this video, I am going to go into the reason that a GameFAQs writer wound up becoming the de facto interpretation for the entirety of the Silent Hill series. Which resulted in people believing things about these games that don't happen in them. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thanks. Great, it's the foreskin guy? It's not the foreskin guy. It's not, it's a different guy. Foreskin guy. Foreskin guy's got to be eating pretty good recently. All right. Let's look at this Silent Hill manual for a little bit. So when I
I'm
bought
not
video
putting
games.
anything involving spinning blades that is advertised by a YouTube sponsorship anywhere near my balls.
Phrasing. Phrasing. Is he eating good? A lot of the more recent Silent Hill trailers and content has been playing into that kind of stuff. So, so anyway, back in the day when I bought a video game, what you did was you open up that case and you take out the instruction manual and you read that all the way home. And if you don't get to play the game that day, you take it to school and you read it there. And you just pour over a game's manual and imagine that you're playing it when you're not playing it, because that's how we did it. That's what we did. It was a little bit weird, but I promise you that is a thing. But one of the things that's nice about this is that, hey, look, there's story in here.
Books and video games, you gotta be joking. You're pulling my leg. You're yanking my crank tool.
You're working my hog! Did you reading to learn the lore? And not on a wiki, but in a little book. Oh, in a little book. Could you imagine that? All right, shall I just read this? I think I'm just going to read from the instruction manual real quick so we can catch up on this story. So we know where this game is starting, okay? All right. Okay. The resort town of Silent Hill slips into quiet desolation now that the peak of development and growth has passed by. The memories of a tragic fire 7 years ago still haunt the townsfolk, and with the tourist season long past, there is hardly a shadow stirring. Harry Mason prefers to take late vacations with his daughter Cheryl. This year, they've made plans to visit Silent Hill. Due to car
Have a
trouble,
look, it's in a book, Prima Game Guides.
they reach the outskirts of the town late at night. Cheryl is sleeping in the back seat as a motorcycle cop roars past his truck. Moments later, Harry spots the motorcycle dumped on the shoulder. There is no one to be seen. It paints an ominous picture. Suddenly, a shadow appears in front of the car. Harry turns the wheel in panic. The car slides off the edge of the road and into a gully. Harry eventually regains consciousness. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. It is unusually cold. Snow is falling out of season. Where has Cheryl disappeared to? Harry walks toward a town he sees in the distance. Game objective! Find Harry's missing daughter, Cheryl. Current objective: find Cheryl. I just want to point out two things that I find a little funny about this. One of which is they call Harry's Jeep a truck. And the other is they've made plans to visit Silent Hill. I'm assuming
The sex-obsessed
they mean
left
the surrounding
is censoring
area.
all of the sexiest
No.
rabbits.
Why is my chat like this? Fun, probably.
You know what? I wouldn't have y'all any other way. Call me mommy like you over the tip. No. Mostly wife guys or dad guys. True. Harry Mason's a writer because that's what every main character in a Silent Hill or a Stephen King story is. How does Dead by Daylight fit into the Silent Hill canon? That's where the juicy pyramid heads go. Losing his wife to disease has left a shadow over his soul. His daughter is the only bright spot in his life. He goes to Silent Hill to go on vacation with his daughter, to be mired in bizarre events. That's part of the vacation. That was the beginning of this tale. Or was it predetermined somehow? That's a truth that Harry has yet to discover. Ooh. She lost her mother at a young age and lived with her father. A gentle, normal child, she goes on vacation with her father to Silent Hill. However, an unimaginable event is waiting to unfold. Harry Mason's writer bio, Twitter bio. Sybil. She's an officer that patrols near Silent Hill. A sudden call causes her to investigate Silent Hill. She is faithful to her duties and investigates Silent Hill on her own. It's a little bit clunky in the writing. You've used the word Silent Hill 3 times in 2 sentences. Alessa. Harry runs across this mysterious girl several times. Who or what is she? Warranty information. This warranty is in lieu of any other warranties or other prison. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, we don't need to read that part. Okay. This packaging and manual. I don't know if it was the best translated. I'm just saying. The warranty is vital to the plot. It's where the juicy pyramid heads go to be deflated. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sad about that. Oh. Was anything properly translated or localized back then? Not really. I mean, kinda. I think Metal Gear Solid was pretty good. Yo, there's images in this game. Be aware that this game contains images and scenes. Switch Art, I hope you feel better soon. I'll take Silent Hill is better than Resident Evil. 100% agree. That Spanish guitar is so good. So fucking iconic.
Oh Jesus, you gotta warn us before hitting us with a nostalgia bomb like that, bummer.
Oh, the PlayStation intro. We're in Pennsylvania. No! Silent Hill, okay, may or may not take place in Maine. The only place that information comes from is the Silent Hill visual novel, but the visual novel is also its own bag of snakes because, the visual novel says that Harry's wife died in a car crash, where the instruction manual says she died from disease, so who fucking knows? SH Play Novel is, takes some liberties. So, Play Novel says Maine, and I'm willing to believe it because there's nothing in the game that contradicts that, but also I just, be aware that that's...
Oh, I can answer this. It takes place in Maine because small town Maine is just like this, and I wish I was kidding.
Makes sense. She had car crash-itis. That was the disease. Can confirm. All right. Gosh, the way the music fades out there is so fucking good. This This is like one of my favorite games. Thank you all so much for being here for this. If this is your first interaction with anything Silent Hill, yo, thanks for choosing this to be your intro to this series. I don't know why you do that. Go play this game. It's great. It's so good. Highly recommend. Yo, do we want to play with like green blood? Did you know this game has like a secret options menu? You just hit like R1 or L1 on the options menu and you get some secret options. Remember when she had her memories turn Dahlia into a horned up goth girl? I do. For some reason. Huh. So I think what I am going to do for this playthrough is keep this as spoiler free as possible, even though I know most of y'all are aware of what's going on in this game. There's a couple things I'm gonna have to talk about, but I love this game. I like it a lot. I am running it in 1080 with a CRT filter. So that's why it looks this way. I'm also going to play on easy. There is a difference between the difficulties. It's the amount of ammo, health items, damage enemies do. That's it. That's the difference. It also changes the background of the item menu, I believe, which is weird. And you get more stars for being on higher difficulties, but to be honest, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about that very much. So I'm going to go on quote unquote easy. Not talking about stuff until it happens. Precisely. What a strong intro. We're already seeing some of the themes of this game showing up here. Because what's happening is that Harry is waking up, right? It's quiet. Too quiet. This place is like a ghost town. Huh?
I love my daddy.
Wrong game. Cheryl. Yeah, the motion blur is really good. So yeah, one of the things I really like is that this game starts with Harry waking up here. And I think that stuff like the instruction manual saying,
son.
you know,
I love my little brother.
aww. I think that the instruction manual saying things like that Harry was going to vacation in Silent Hill, or that this place is like a ghost town, make people think that there's some kind of alternate dimension where this town is bustling and inhabited, but that's not true. I don't think that's true. Harry, how did you do this? We like rolled down a hill to get here, I guess. That is too banged up to drive. You fucked it up done good. That's impressive. Cheryl, I hope she's safe. I thought that... I thought there was a health kit in there. I guess not. Harry was driving in the 90s when he crashed. So this is like a 90... No, this is like an 87, 88 Dodge Wrangler, I think? Jeep Wrangler. My bad. It's really similar to the Jeep from the opening of Dean Koontz's Phantoms. Which is a pretty good movie, and I think I recommend it. I think that's probably where they got the idea for that Jeep from. I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it. Footsteps.
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl? Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
The game's music is perfect. It knows when to use silence to great effect. These kind of moments when you're wandering through the fog and the game is quiet and tense are the moments that this series really succeeds, you know? This is what makes this game different from something like Resident Evil. And it's a shame that, like, every game after this has less and less and less of this. Like, 2's got a good amount of wandering around for, like, quiet moments. 3's got less of it. And then starting with 4, it's just, like, downhill from there. Okay. Time to talk about the use of effective imagery. I'm sure y'all are familiar with environmental storytelling, right? Y'all played a Bethesda game before where you found like a skeleton sitting on a toilet that has a grenade in it, and you're like, environmental storytelling. I love that the transition between these two scenes is a low worm's eye view camera of a door that says beware of dog, right? Cut to an opposite bird's eye view of whatever this blood and guts and gore is, right? And it is so evocative because is this a dog or did a dog do this? Like, immediately your mind is filled with all kinds of, like, questions that the fear aspect of your brain starts filling in. It's showing so much more than telling, right? I love it. Camera work is about to happen, though. There's some fucking great camera work in this section, yeah. What is it? I love that we just don't get an answer. And we're never going to. This shot right here of the camera dynamically panning is another thing that you don't see in Resident Evil, because like Resident Evil is all pre-rendered at the time, right? The fact that the camera comes up and then comes down Dutch, right? Sideways, is an indication that something here is wrong, unsettling, dizzying, right? It's a shot that like you don't get in a lot of games. And they are 100% flexing, yeah. Pretty sure this shot is in Jacob's Ladder. The cinematography in this game is highly inspired by stuff like Jacob's Ladder. There's a couple of pieces of media that I'm going to reference a lot. Jacob's Ladder is one of them. I'm going to talk about Dean Koontz's Phantoms. I'm going to talk about probably Carrie and Rosemary's Baby. All of these things were huge inspirations for this game. And of course, the American cinematic masterpiece Kindergarten Cop, which served as a huge inspiration for this game. So we're going to have to... Whew, we're going to have to talk about that. It's a kind of a surrendering of control. I agree with that, yeah. The fact that the player's not controlling the camera gives the camera a quality of leering, right? It makes you feel like Harry is being watched by the camera more than like the player is viewing through it. It's like those scenes in a movie where you see the camera moving and it's supposed to be a first-person perspective of like the monster following a person or something, right? Like a predator curiously stalking its prey. Exactly, that sort of thing, right? It's strange, it's getting darker. Better than nothing, I guess. The siren in the background. I'll have some vertex lighting. Broken wheelchair. What's this doing here? So we're already being introduced to a lot of the themes that the game is going to have, or at least a lot of the imagery that the game is going to have. Oh, hey, it's Jacob's Ladder again. We're getting a lot of medical imagery. There's going to be a lot of this metal and rust. There is a more traditional violin in here, which is closer to what you'd expect from like a horror soundtrack, but behind it there's this urban, like mechanical noise that's not musical in any way.
What is this?
What's
going
expensive? I love this fucking thing. How much it looks like a person. But without actually being one? So that's different. The Nightmare Machine? I'm not. I can't wait to talk about this.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm all right, I guess.
Glad to hear it. You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation. I just got here. I don't know what happened. I'd like to find out myself.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen a little girl? Just turned 7 last month, short, black hair. My daughter.
Sorry. The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Where is everybody?
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me. But from what I can tell, something bizarre's going on. That's all I know. What's your name?
Harry. Harry Mason.
Sybil Bennett. I'm a police officer from Brams, the next town over. The phones are all dead, and the radio
Hi,
too.
Sybil.
I'm going back to call in some reinforcements. Hold it. Where do you think you're going?
My daughter. I've got to find her.
No way. It's dangerous out there.
In that case, I need to find her now. Cheryl's my little girl. I can't just leave her out there by herself.
Have you got a gun?
No.
But this is America, Harry.
Take this, and hope you don't have to use it. Now listen to me. Before you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting. And don't do it unless you have to.
I love a cop who will just
Don't
give you her
procrastinate by
gun.
mistake. Got it?
Yeah, thanks.
You do best to stay nearby. I'll be back with help as quick as I can.
How did D2 end with the pimple wizard in the face cave? Oh! We fought a vagina. It was horrifying. I posted a clip on YouTube. There's a YouTube short of it.
Do your shit.
Whew.
Take them out for dinner. Enjoy their company. Pal, go find a motel room on the
Oh,
other
okay.
side of town before you pull the trigger.
So, I want to talk about a couple of the things we've seen so far in this game, and what it's doing. So, there's a really, really effective way. There's a really, really effective way to create a disgust reaction in your audience without showing anything that's like blood or guts or gore or any of that. It's actually really, really, really simple. And this game utilizes it so well. Okay. First, take something that you expect to be clean, like hospital equipment or a kitchen, anywhere where food is prepared, or like, people have open sores.
Silent Highland.
No. Ash, thank you for 13 months. Welcome back to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. But yeah, take something like hospital equipment where you expect some manner of cleanliness, because we know that like if these things are not clean, that's really, that creates an immense disgust reaction. And then just make it dirty. Throw some, throw a little bit of rust in there. Rusty hospital equipment. There you go. And suddenly you've created a visceral reaction in the audience. It's a little cheap, but it's very effective. Pauseword, thank you for the follow, my fur and whiskers. Right? Yeah, like a version of the Uncanny Valley. We're seeing something that we expect to be one way, but it's another way. And we know that it being that other way is dangerous. We know that like rusty hospital equipment is like, well, that's a recipe for fucking tetanus. Yeah, you can also get this from like food preparation or things like that. If that kind of stuff is just moldy, usually. I would say that Resident Evil 7 does this pretty well, where it's like, here's a bunch of kitchen equipment, except it's gross, really gross. Here's a sink full of gross. Valid for rusty hospital equipment. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, that unsanitary disgust. I think that's really common as a form of like fear, right? It's a little bit difficult to do in a way that creates like, horror. Especially if it's not really happening, in order to depict that. It's similar to the way that it's really hard to depict food in video games. Because the use of because foods are such an olfactory experience, as well as being a taste experience, presenting them in a way that's purely visual is always going to lack something, but also like there so many like textures and colors and different reflective aspects of all the different, parts of them, that it's always going to be really difficult to make those. It's like still painting fruit, like there's a lot that goes into it. So it's very technical in order to make it look realistic or appetizing. And it's the same way if you're going to make something unsanitary. It's got to look, I don't know if I would say realistic, but it has to look convincing. If that makes sense, Just beat this for the first time. Oh my goodness, Willow, how are you? Willow, one of my favorite streamers. Oh my gosh. Must have been insane. Yeah. The amount of work that was put into like Final Fantasy 15's food porn was quite a bit. Quite a lot. So that's one of the things that's going on in this game. And the other thing that I want to point out that this game is doing is bringing up the image of sleep. So Harry starts this game by waking up in his car. When we see those creatures appear for the first time, it starts getting dark beforehand. When we get attacked by them, it fades to black, and then Harry wakes up, like from a dream or a nightmare. They're connecting the idea of this this horror imagery and these monsters with the idea of dreams. This is the kind of thing that you're also gonna see in, for instance, hey, Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder does this a whole bunch, actually. The ending, one of the endings of this game, the bad minus ending, is Harry is dead in his Jeep. And this whole thing was a dream that he had, just like an occurrence on Owl Creek Bridge, which Jacob's Ladder is an adaptation of. Just like that. Yep. Anything that starts with somebody waking up is immediately suspect. Yes. I do want to say that this is not a dream. But that is one of the possible endings. Which is cool and actually makes sense. Like, as a bad ending, it actually makes a lot of sense because they're setting that kind of thing up beforehand. Because dreams and sleep are a huge theme of this game even before that ending happens, right? Yeah, it's not just a dream. Obviously. Oh. Okay, what else can I talk about? This game is full of Twin Peaks references as well. We're going to see a bunch of those. Narratively as well. I also love this Study Damn It poster. I just want to talk about how much I love this poster that says Study Damn It. We'll see more of these in the school. I believe it is a real poster. Yeah. I think this pinball table is also a real thing. It might be a Konami one. Not 100% on that. Okay. The notepads. Our main character is a writer. How do we tie that theme into the game? It's like a poster Stephen King made in college, if I remember right. That's great. That's perfect. Someday someone may experience these bizarre events. Hopefully they will find my notes useful. So the way that we save is... Oh, it is that poster. That's the one. Here we go. Go ahead and show this on screen real quick. There it is. That's so cute.
Write a post-it note, put it on the fridge, save the game.
I messed up my window. Okay, good enough. Because I got a Chuck Manson vibe. A little bit, yeah. Very cute. So yeah, our main character saves the game by writing these notes. What's important about this is that that's going to be a thing in Silent Hill 3. When Harry's daughter returns to Silent Hill, she's actually going to find one of these save points and read Harry's notes that he left there. So these are canonical. These exist. They're diegetic. They are real. That's cool. Notepad is how you save here, and every other game goes with the Halo of the Sun. No, only 3 does. Silent Hill 2 uses red pages, or red squares. Silent Hill 3 uses the Halo of the Sun, and Silent Hill 4 allows you to save in your apartment by using, I believe it's a red page in that one too. You look at it and Henry says his head hurts, I think. But yeah, every game is a little bit different when it comes to save points. Every game is also a little bit different when it comes to the way that the mechanics of the universe work, but we'll get to that. I want to point out how good this scene is right here. You want to see another excellent use of camera angles? Check this out. Before we pick up these items, the camera angle is over Harry's shoulder. But we are going to get a flashlight, a map, and they use picking up the map as a transition between one camera angle and the other. So now we're staring right into Harry's face, and I want you to pay attention to the window behind him when we start to walk away here. You could see it just for a sec. But there's something flying by the window just for a second. And fuck, it's so good. It's so good, isn't it? It's just like, oh, it's just out of the corner of your eye. You can't even be sure that you saw it the first time, right? Unless you're really looking for it. This is weirdly detailed. It really is, yeah. Oh, man. But I love that it's picking up the map that causes the camera angle to change like that. Because it's something that you have to do in order to leave this bar, I believe. Don't think it lets you go out without it. We're going to get my favorite voice line in possibly all of games coming up right here.
What's that? Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
I love that. What's going on with that radio? Nah. Fucking attempt. Okay, so do you see, this is a little dumb, but do you see how status, equipment, command, option, exit, and map are all in green? I believe if you're playing on normal, they're in blue, and if you're playing on hard, they're in purple. I think it's one of the only changes. I don't remember exactly, so I could be wrong there. Someone could correct me.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
Yo! This is not a dream. That's kind of important, actually. Shady! How you doing? Thank you for the follow, my fur and whiskers. What is going on with that radio? Are there any other of these imps? Yes. So I've read a couple explanations for these guys. The best one I've come across is all of the monsters in this game are things that scared a little girl. These, I believe, are supposed to be representative of pterodactyls from H.G. Wells' Journey to the Center of the Earth, I want to say. Play some pinball instead. Hell yeah. Yeah. Hmm. But we will see other literary references. Where could Cheryl have gone? I guess I'll check that alley again. The light is what attracts the monsters? Yes. Yeah, they react to light. Should I talk about why they set off the radio? Oh, actually, another fun little reference right here. Another fun little thing. This newspaper stand has a front page spread which reads Bill Skins 5th, which is a reference to a similar headline in Silence of the Lambs. Although Silence of the Lambs, I think it's Bill Skins 4th. This one says 5th. So, this is the little reference. You probably would not be able to read that on a PlayStation. Queen Burger. Alright, before we go back to the alley, Google suggested it was 5th too. Okay. Before we go back to the alley, I want to show off my favorite store real quick. It's Pawston Market. I really like Pawston Market. I don't know why. It just tickles me.
Ricky was right.
It just tickles me. I can't explain it. Also, Silent Hill has the widest fucking streets. Doesn't it? Like, look at this. This is a residential road. It's like a fucking highway. Silent Hill and their 10-lane residential streets. Jeez. Jaywalkers were common in Silent Hill. It's like, you know, it's America. You know, walkable streets like these are illegal to build in most American cities nowadays. You know, walkable architecture like this. Oh my god, this 4-way intersection. So there's a reason for this, right? Like, this is... They could have made reasonable sized streets. But they didn't, right? I never noticed the size of those streets. No, you don't, right? It's almost subconscious. It's not the kind of thing you notice because you're never seeing both sides of the street. Because of the fog that's there, you don't actually wind up seeing how big the actual streets are. So it's really difficult for you to even gauge the size of these things. Is it a hardware limitation? Okay, so yes and no. So the fog is something of a hardware limitation. You do see like distance fog like this in stuff like in a bunch of like N64 and original PlayStation games, like early 3D games, before low density models, like load on distance models and stuff like that, became popular after, like, I don't know, Spyro. Like LOD models became much more of a thing. The easy way to hide loading assets was behind fog, right? Yeah, level of detail, thank you. So yes, it's there to do that, but Also, it is there for atmosphere. They did make more fog than they needed to. It is a stylistic choice. They could have had much less fog if they wanted to, but they decided to make things feel more claustrophobic and disorientating because you can't see that far into the distance, which makes you kind of lose your way. It makes you feel a little more confined, even if you're in giant areas. Even if you're on the biggest, widest fucking street you've ever seen, you can't really tell because of how disorientating the fog is, right? It makes it sort of dream-like. It fits back into our themes. And Dogveloper, I think that's 100% true. I think the roads are this wide for two reasons. One of which is to create an uncanny feeling when you're wandering through the fog, to create like this feeling of when you're diving out into the unknown depth of the ocean, or like outer space or something like that. If you're going out into the darkness, even if you're... All right, picture this. Your basement is pitch black. There is light coming in through the door you entered from. And there is a light switch on the other side of the room. And to get through it, you have to go through all of that darkness. You feel safe in the little bit of light you've got. And the idea of setting out into that darkness a little bit is the terrifying part, right? Because you're losing your connection to that sort of like solid aspect. That's what running into the streets in this game can feel like, is you're orientated by sidewalks and walls and the buildings around you. And if you wander out into the street, the fog makes it so that you can lose all of that and you just wander out into nothingness, right? Like I can orientate myself to this building right now, but if I wander out here, like things start to become formless. You can lose yourself. I like it. But I also think that things in this game are that way because they scared a little girl. And I think that's probably how she would have experienced these streets. If you were a little girl trying to cross the streets at 7 years old, they might seem a lot bigger than they actually are. Dogs are also another thing that scared me. Hey, look! So the beware of dog sign, it wasn't just visual storytelling, it was foreshadowing. Isn't that funny? Isn't that fun? I love that. I love that! This game is so good. We're gonna do these camera angles again that I love so much. Alley with garages that don't face the street. Illegal. I actually used to live in a house that had that. It was a little side alley with a bunch of garages. Jeez, Silent Hill, why does your mom let you have 4 shadows? Jeez, Silent Hill, why does your mom let you have 4 skin? I said it, and now I regret it. And now I regret saying it. I'm sorry. Ah! Okay, I deserve those. No! Not that many! No, I don't deserve those! No! Heck. Ooh, woo? What's all this? Oh, I love this part, by the way. This part's so good. Gotta go to school?
Isn't this Cheryl's sketchbook? She's at the school.
This map is so handy. This is one of the best maps in video games, right? Thoughts on Shattered Memories? I fucking hate it. I think it's terrible. I could go in depth on why, but I'm gonna wait until we play it. I know people like that one. I think it's gross. Wait, what was the other question? Aren't all the joke endings aliens though? No, actually. Silent Hill 1 has a UFO ending. Silent Hill 3 has a UFO ending. Silent Hill 2 only had the dog ending until Greatest Hits Edition when they added a UFO ending for the re-release. Silent Hill 4 doesn't have a joke ending at all. But yeah. Oh. Yeah. This sketchbook cover. This picture. It's me. It's me for real. He just like me for real. I like that Harry looks at this fucking face and he's just like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that looks exactly like me. Damn. That's just like me. I'm also derping out of my mind. I love it. I love him so much. What are you doing, Ambience? Oh my goodness. Wait, I'm trying to find... Oh, here it is. Oh, I found it. All right. There we go. He just like me. He just like me for real. He like me for real, though. Same person. Same hat. Love it if the camera zoomed out and his in-game model just looked like that. Yeah. Oh, Harry. Harry. I love him. Oh my gosh. Cobras, what were you up to today? Homecoming keeps going on sale for like 69 cents. I keep not buying it. It's worth that much even just for the memes. Aww. I think Homecoming is the best of the post-Silent Hill 4 games. 3 out of 10. In my opinion. Mario Wonder is quite the fun stuff. It looked good. It looked pretty cool. The first picture that Cheryl drew in the sketchbook that I gave her on her 5th birthday. Aww. Yeah, we get that steel pipe. Do you think the lower fidelity, more abstract graphics of older games lends itself better to creating a dreamlike or uncanny atmosphere? I would say yes and no. When it's done the right way, it certainly can. Because there's games that are, I would argue, dreamlike and surreal on accident. Looking at stuff like, I think Majora's Mask is supposed to be weird, but I don't know if it's supposed to be as weird as it is. You know? Plenty of ways to get high poly and be uncanny too. True. That's true. There is something to be said for these types of graphics, though. Why didn't Harry fight the missionary in 3? Oh, he lost. He probably did. Lost mentioned? Damn. We're on the last season of Lost. I hope people have been enjoying it. Because that's like one of my favorite shows. I love it so fucking much. It wasn't until I replayed the first level that I started to learn to use the level to go fast. Yeah, this game's gorgeous. Alright, do you want me to talk about the radio and the flashlight real quick? Do you want me to talk about those real quick? I could do that. Alright, hit me with the radio lore. I got you. Okay. So... When did ghosts become popular? When did hauntings become a big thing? Well, in Western media, this was... ghosts have been a thing since ancient times, but they became incredibly popular right around the late 1800s. We had a bunch of Victorian horror novels about ghosts and hauntings. We got a bunch of spiritualism, things like that. Yeah, absolutely. Even in Eastern cultures where there was a lot of ghosts or mythological creatures and things like that, we saw a sort of increase in the amount of people interested in the supernatural with the dawn of modern science, I would argue. And one of the reasons for that is the advent of things like the photograph. Photographs in Western spiritualism were sometimes used either as proof of ghosts or in order to fake the existence of ghosts by using things like double exposure, right? There are also things like funerary photographs, or yeah, the idea that photographs would take your soul. In Japan, there's a long history of spirit photography, or, you know, pictures of ghosts, and also of photographing the dead, where you would dress someone up, put on makeup, embalm them, and then take their picture, and that would be used as like a final image of them, so that they could be remembered the way that they, like in the way that they looked in their final moments of life, right? So there's a relationship between things like the advent of the photograph and ghosts or hauntings or things like that. Look into the Fox sisters in American spiritualism if you're curious where a lot of our modern conceptions of ghosts come from. Yeah. That's one thing. There were a lot of American spiritualists that were just flim-flam artists. a lot of them, I would say almost all of them, just fucking scam artists. But yeah, taking photographs of the dead is a thing that we did a lot of. But one of the things we also used to do that, or things that we associate with that, are also things that were coming out around the same time. Things like the radio, things like the telephone. There was a huge technological boom around the same time that sort of associated a lot of modern technologies with the ability to see ghosts, right? Or the ability to sense ghosts. This also comes to us from the fact that science at the time was discovering things that could not be seen with the human eye. We were using microscopes to discover biological life forms that are so small as to be invisible to us. We're discovering that particles exist, or that matter is made up of trillions and trillions of tiny objects that we just have no concept of, or we can't see. Electricity is a force that can move through this world in ways that seem completely supernatural to us. And because of all that, the spiritualist movement really caught on to the idea that there could be ghosts out there, and the way that we would interact with them would be through technology. That would just make sense, right? If that's how we're discovering germs and particles and things like that, then why not, right? Cosmic horror was inspired by the discovery of galaxies in the 1910s, 20s. The sheer scale of the universe blew a lot of people's minds. 100%. Later on, this became a thing for televisions as well. But one of the things I find most interesting is the idea of static. What the radio in this game does is create static in the presence of these monsters. And I find static to be something that is incredibly fascinating, because it is not natural, nor is it man-made. Static is, in a sense, something that's supernatural, because nobody went out to try to make static. Radios don't produce static on purpose. It's a latent radiation that exists in the universe that is being picked up by a technology that was not meant for it, right? It exists all around us at every time. We just don't perceive it as sound because our bodies don't pick it up that way. Exactly. Yeah. The lack of something as to why static uses it. Oh, the lack of a signal. Yes, exactly. Well, it's picking up a signal. It's just not like a radio signal. It's noise from the background radiation of the universe that exists all around us, right? It's out there the whole time. It's just that we don't pick it up unless we have a television or a radio to pick it up. So like in the form of static, it's not natural. Like the things that cause static are natural because they're just the radiation of the universe. They're waves that exist around us. The things that we use to produce the static are man-made because radios and televisions and things that are able to pick up that radiation are made by people. But the interaction between these two things is something that is neither natural nor man-made. It's something that comes from a coalescing of these things in an unintended manner. And I find that a fascinating idea. Don't you find that neat? Right? Like, isn't that kind of cool? It doesn't exist outside of the interaction between these two other things. Tinky, how you doing? So that's why I would say that things like static are associated with the supernatural, because they kind of are. They're kind of neat. Man, this is an Arby's. Do I hear a train? Yes, there is my next door neighbor's locomotive. Yeah. They get a little loud over there, I'm sorry. Well, we gotta find a way to get to... Damn, they're going at it. I know, right? They are running a train on that caboose. Pubby big yeeted himself, yeah. See, like, moments like this are unnatural. Very scary. I kind of prefer to walk near the sidewalks. See all the houses. This is a good camera. This is also a very good camera. Doghouse, Levin Street. Give me just a second. I need to look something up right quick. Okay, so I was correct. Levin Street is a reference to Ira Levin, writer of Rosemary's Baby. That's a thing. Oh my goodness. Genuinely made me internally panic. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Merosie's a bunch of the town names, a bunch of the town streets are named after authors, directors, horror writers, sci-fi writers as well. Like there's a Sagan Street after Carl Sagan. There's a King Street for Stephen King. Several of them are Stephen King pseudonyms. But yeah, Levin is a reference to the author of the book Rosemary's Baby, which I may reference again because it's kind of important to the plot. There are some similarities. Made a tank controls fixed camera system in Godot. Ooh. Land planning committee had a theme in mind, and dang, did they stick with it. It's about an ordinary baby. It's so ordinary. It's so usual, yeah. Dang. I know people probably have questions like, why is there a big gaping hole in the middle of this fucking street? It took half of this house with it. I have answers, don't you worry. You will get them. Don't you worry. Is the coal mine right? There's no coal mine. There is no coal mine. Okay. There is a coal mine in Silent Hill. Well, was. Okay. There was a coal mine in Silent Hill back in the 1700s. And it dried out before 1800. I swear to God. It was abandoned because it dried out. There's no coal in it. Yo, there's a house key hidden in the doghouse. I like that. You know, nothing unusual here. Dang. I should have checked out the doghouse first. Because that's when he says the line. It's a doghouse. I think it's a doghouse, but I can't be sure. Because there's no dog around. Which, that's great. What does that mean? Alright. We can get in the house. I just don't want to fight the doggos. I just don't want to fight them. Dogger didn't happen. Pet play, obviously. Okay, fair. Sure. Like, yeah, alright. Handgun bullets. God, do you remember when TVs were this fucking big? I miss those. Nothing useful. What are you talking about? There's some handgun bullets. Wow, what an interesting painting on this wall. What a fascinating looking painting. I wonder if that's going to come back later. Alright. So I want to say, this game, from a modern perspective, has actually aged super, super well. In that its signposting is so good. It's so good. It's really, really clear as to where you should be going. So for instance, the game starts you out with nowhere to go except down the street to the alley to find Cheryl, right? When you leave the cafe, he says, oh, I should go back to that alley. It marks that alley on your map. All of the roads are blocked off. But the quickest way to get to Midwich Elementary is probably to go down Matheson to Midwich, which is where you find the note that says, hey, go to the doghouse on Levin Street. So you go to Levin Street, you look for a doghouse. There's only one house that has a doghouse in front of it. Obviously, you're going to go in that house. And then when you go in that house, they're going to go, nope, this shit's super locked. But on the wall here, oh, look, it's a cute little map that just tells you where all the keys are. And then you copy it onto your map, and now you've got your map that tells you to go to this alley, this arrow, and this circle. And you're like, fuck. What a good game. What good game design. It's so nice. This game is incredibly kind. What a video game. For a game from this time, it's just incredibly good at signposting. Yellow paint? I don't mind yellow paint. I think that's cool. I think it's fine. Oh, hey. Who's that good-looking guy? Who's that good-looking guy in the pharmacy? It's a fetch quest without feeling like a fetch quest? Yeah. Yeah. David Bowie? It kind of looks like Bowie a little bit now. Yeah, I can see that. I think on this corner is a shop that I'm going to visit really quick. Yeah, here we go. The 812. I'm sorry, I didn't mean 7-Eleven, I meant 8. Just says convenience store 8. Also, this area just kills the frame rate, and I don't know why. Because it's just a really small room. Yes, I will talk about Kindergarten Cop, absolutely. I think in terms of video game design, sometimes what you do with a game is you have like a room that's got several interiors in it. You just load them all in the same block. I feel like maybe the reason that the frame rate chugs in here is because there's a bunch of other interior rooms loaded on the same map. I can't prove that. I don't know if that's true. Glad this game was made when it was made. If it was a modern, it would have like UI prompts every 2 minutes. We get to see that. A lot of the later Silent Hill games will fill out your journal with objectives. Objective, escape Silent Hill. And, you know, they're not good. They're quite bad, actually. Some of my least favorite games ever. These do have an interior map and exterior map and just swap between the two. I think it's likely a lot of the larger areas have their own map. But for some of the smaller areas in town, maybe they're all just loaded on the same block. That would be easy enough to do, right? How can you outrun Doggo? Doggo is fast? Harry's also pretty fast. No. Alright, fine. Fine, I'll use Bullet. Where'd you go? So anyways, I started blasting. Mad stamina. Yeah, he just takes off like... like nobody's business. So I think this game, by the way, plays perfectly. There is one improvement I would make to this game's controls. So you got tank controls for movement. If you hold down square, you'll sprint. If you hold down square and press back, you'll do a little back hop. Get out of the way. L1 and R1 strafe you. And if you hold sprint, you can run strafe. And if you press L1 and R1 at the same time, you got your fucking quick turn right here. Damn. Harry's got more moves than a, like, trained military STARS agent. You know? It's a powerful set of primed polygons. He can shmove. He can also shmove while aiming. You can do almost all of these that don't involve sprinting while holding your gun. It's great. practically John Wick, yeah. The only thing I would change is that if you're holding down the aim button, you should be able to press, like, square or circle to reload. That's the only thing I would change. If you're aiming your gun, square and circle don't do anything, and one of those could have been a reload button. Instead, he just, like, automatically reloads, or you go into your menu to do it. But that's all I would change. Everything else is perfect. Complain about SH2 Remake movement being too actiony. Yeah, I don't think that's the problem that game is gonna have. That game is gonna be shit garbage and I'm gonna hate it, but like, I don't think its problem's gonna be the movement necessarily. Stepping directly sideways at speed. Humans really suck at that. They really do. Yeah, I want some soft drink snacks. 99-cent egg and leg.
Is the plural Silent Hills or Silence Hill?
Silence Hill. Egg legs. See, I think this alley's got some good stuff in it too. Ah, yes. This is another thing that I kind of adore. So we're told to go to this alleyway. The only thing of interest here, though, is a giant gate that says off limits, don't fucking go in here, which is awesome. I love that that's how they grab your attention and show you, hey, you can go in here, is by a big sign that says, don't fucking go in here. It's so good. It makes you feel like you're doing something naughty. Here's another instance of environmental storytelling. When you get close enough, you just see, oh, that's a dog head. That's gross. There's something morbidly funny about it. Key of Woodman. Go beat it. Jesus. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. Wait a minute. Wasn't there a basketball player that got done for, like, running an illegal dogfighting ring? Maybe this game was kind of prescient. Football, I think? Oh, okay. Michael Vick. That's the guy. Tragedy struck the charity furry basketball game. No! Way after Silent Hill 1. Oh, yeah, yeah. I wasn't insinuating this was a reference. I love beer. I want to go to Ghoul. What do they sell at Ghoul? Reference things that hadn't happened yet. That happens all the time in fucking Kojima games, though. Look at this. You wouldn't even think about walking over this precipice or, like, out onto that branch unless the camera angle did this, right? How brilliant is that? They're just like, here you go. Look, there's a key over here. I'm gonna put it right in front of your fucking face. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. Doghead reminds me of Salem's Lot. Oh, that's a good pull. I love the way that these, like, fucking bottomless pits were done. Good catch, Switch. Yes, they absolutely are. So, the same way that the monsters in this game are representative of things that scared a particular little girl, all of the puzzles are things that she liked. And one of those things is the Wizard of Oz. So we get the key of Scarecrow, key of Woodman, and the key of Lion. The three companions for
You're telling me there are no bottoms in this pit?
just me. It's me. I'm in the pits. I'm the bottom that huffs the pits. No. Heck. Just a fan of the books, the movie? I'm gonna... Yeah. Heck. I'm gonna say probably the books, unless this seems like an avid reader. I don't know if she would have watched much of the movies. Plus, we don't really know when this game takes place, by which I mean we will never know when this game takes place. Games should stop. Sequels to this game should stop trying to figure out when this game takes place. It's not important. It takes place in quote-unquote present day. Stop it. Stop trying to put years to when this game fucking takes place. Jesus. It's such annoying bullshit. Yeah, it takes place in 19XDX. Goodness. Sequels to this game should stop in general. Too true. SH3 caused problems with their numbers. It takes place. Silent Hill 3 takes place 14 years after this one. That's all. That's all. It's just 14 years after this game. That's all you need to know. That's the only important thing. I think Origins tries to say that this takes place in like the early 80s or something. And it's like, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Which forced figure out the canon timeline is worse, Silent Hill or Zelda? I would say Silent Hill. I would say... What's going on? So, there's a reason I say that, and that's because there haven't been... There haven't been as many Zelda games made by non-Nintendo companies who are trying to explain the timeline in the game. Does that make sense? The timeline for Zelda exists entirely outside of the games themselves. For Silent Hill, that sort of shit is just leaking into the real games. And it's terrible. I hate it. Yeah, there's none that try to set a timeline. But like, and that's a good thing, I think. But like the later Silent Hill games start to like, oh my God, when Book of Memories tries to explain that Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4 are caused by a magic book that causes whatever you write in it to become true, like the fucking Death Note, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay? We don't talk about that.
The timeline only exists so people would stop asking, but it only made that worse because Zelda fanboys are the worst.
Ooh. Come on, went to Death Note and not Mist. It's closer to Death Note because it changes the actions of people, not the world, like Mist does. In Mist, you can't change people. But yeah, oh my God. Is Book of Memories not even canon? It depends.
Silent Hill Book of Memories should make like my left arm and not exist.
Oh. The thing is, gosh, how do we talk about canon? The thing is that from my perspective, when I talk about things like canon, I try not to pick and choose just the things I like and the things I don't, right? If I had my way, I would say that Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4 are canon. The rest of them are not. According to Konami, all of the Silent Hill games are canon. Depending on who you're talking to, different ones are going to be different. Like from Silent Hill Homecoming's perspective, Silent Hill 1 is non-canon and the movie is canon. Like, right? There's weirdness to it. Oh yeah, Konami just doesn't give a shit. They don't care. They don't give a fuck, right? So like the thing is that canon is entirely malleable, and I usually try to explain what I'm going to consider canon before analyzing it from that lens, but then providing different lenses to it, right? So like Silent Hill 1, I would like to analyze on its own as like a standalone thing, but then I would like to later on re-examine it using information from 2 and from 3, you know? To come back and like add things to it that weren't in the original and aren't considered canon if you're just looking at the original in a vacuum, right? But are canon if you're looking at it as a series. I think that it's important to do a little bit of both. Because like if you look at something like Metal Gear Solid, I love examining Metal Gear Solid 2 on its own. But I also think it's really interesting to look at through the lens of the explanations that 4 gives us. Because the explanations from 4 are silly and not the intended ones in that game, right? They were made later. But they're also interesting. Shepherd, how many games are there in the Silent Hill series? 1, 2, 3, 4. Homecoming, Downpour, Shattered Memories. Oh yeah, I agree, Steve. There are 3 mobile games. arcade. There are 5 new ones coming out. 2 movies and 1 on the way. Visual novel. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, I think there's 2 pachinko machines, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Arcade honestly isn't that bad other than the Pyramid Head problem. Its story is really stupid, but I think it's funny. Silent Hill Arcade is about a ghost being reincarnated as a person who then goes to Silent Hill and meets the rest of the ghosts who died on the cruise, the like ferry, like the ship that was in Lake Toluca and disappeared. And you meet the ghosts on the boat. It's weird. It's stupid. Yeah, the Little Baroness. That's the one. It's goofy. I find it fun. Well, you know. Hand holding on stream? You can't do that. James is referenced on Nightmare of Decay? Huh? Huh? Lady Glove Hand? One of them looked like surgical gloves, but I think it's an ad for watches. Did they forget the fog here? So, good question. There are times of this game when the fog recedes and the world turns darker. During these segments of darkness, there are generally slightly more monsters around. You get a little more industrial noise, and that siren usually precedes the transition between light and dark. People took this to mean that the real Silent Hill that Harry was going to vacation in, and the world with the fog, and the world with the darkness are different universes or dimensions or something. And that's not true. I just want to put it out there that that is not what is happening. It's just getting darker. There is a reason for it. There is a reason for it. Yeah, there are not 2 layers, there is 1 layer. There is 1 layer, everything that's happening is happening. There's one layer that's for real. And that's where everything in this game happens. Yeah. And I will explain more about that as we get there. Getting attacked by these things, oh my god. A real-life town that had some kind of weird fire disaster that continued to smolder under the ground. So, yeah, that's actually incorrect. Yeah. So the movie was inspired by the town of Centralia, Pennsylvania. The games had nothing to do with it. The developers didn't know about it, and it was completely not a thing that was involved with the games whatsoever. But that's not even the worst thing that people think that Silent Hill is about, that they're wrong about. This is one of the most misunderstood franchises of all time. And I find that so interesting. The idea that there's multiple dimensions in this game, or that Silent Hill is a town where it creates monsters based on your inner demons or something like that, are not true. Not part of the games. And yet, the cultural consciousness around the game tells us that these are things that are real. And they're not. Are you sure? I'm absolutely sure. Yeah. Steal a pyramid head? I really want to know. I will talk about that when we play Silent Hill 2. I think. I think when we play Silent Hill 2, I'll talk about Pyramid Head, okay? I do have an explanation here. Gosh, do I want to bury the lead and just talk about it, or do I want to get a little further into the game so we have more information to play with? What ending are you going for? I'm probably going to get good plus, but we're going to see. I think all of the endings are good, and I will talk about why probably a little bit later. But for now, we got to talk about Kindergarten Cop. I got to talk to y'all about a movie called Kindergarten Cop starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So back in the 90s, if you were a Japanese video game developer that was part of a small team of other failed products that was put together because Konami decided they wanted that sweet, sweet Resident Evil money, and they were going to get a group of 12 to 14 developers together and just throw them into a room and be like, make us a Resident Evil. You probably don't have money to go on a scouting trip to the US to set your game there, right? So you don't really know what American buildings are going to look like necessarily. You've probably seen them in media. What's a nice, cheap way to figure out what an American middle school would look like if you didn't have the money to visit? How do you figure that out? And yeah, there's not a lot of internet, right? You rent a movie. You rent a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here we go. So I would like to show y'all what the movie Kindergarten Cop what the movie Kindergarten Cop looks like on this side, and what Silent Hill looks like on the other side here. Okay? So this is Midwich Elementary, and this is middle school in Kindergarten Cop, which I'm going to guess is actually probably a high school. This doesn't look like a middle school I've ever seen, but okay. We'll just go with it. It's fine. They probably filmed this in a high school. So you're like, what do posters look like on the walls of a middle school? What kind of things do we post? What do we put, in the nurse's office? What do school buses look like? Gra streams, hello. Oh my goodness. Gra. How you doing, Gra? So there's a lot of imagery they borrowed for Silent Hill from the hit Hollywood film Kindergarten Cop, which, there are worse ways to do it. If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Exactly. You know what is silly, though, is how much Midwich Elementary is not an American or American middle school. Because here's where it gets even more interesting. At least I think so. I think this is where it gets even more interesting. Because they modeled this after and borrowed like little posters and things from Kindergarten Cop, they wound up with what is architecturally an American school. There's those posters, by the way. Architecturally, they wound up with what should be an American school, right? But Silver Orb, thank you so much for the follow, my fur and whiskers. Let me see. Where is the map? Where do they put that thing? I thought it was in the nurse's station. Cup of chai, thank you for the heckin' follow, my fur and whiskers. How are you? Bloody books. God, I love this. I love this painting. I want to have one of those in my teacher's office. Top off SH1 with a Kindergarten Cop movie night. We should watch Silent Hill the movie, and then Silent Hill 2 3D Revelations 3D, and then Kindergarten Cop. Cop, oh my goodness. Hello. Not my tea. No, I need that. I don't have a lot. I'm low tea, okay? I don't have enough to spare. I'm a low T beta. Oh my goodness. Hello, welcome on in, Raiders. It's so good to see you. Fatherland, Nova, and Yubi, thank you for the follows, my fur and whiskers. It's all Wonderland themed. It is, my fur and whiskers. Advent, thank you for the follow. Heck, y'all cute. Y'all great. Oh my goodness. Welcome the heck on in. I'm Bun or Lucky or Paige, whichever you prefer. I'm a white rabbit from Wonderland. On Fridays, I try to play games that I've played before, in order to provide them a little bit of like critical analysis, just talk about them like sort of in depth. Tuesdays, I play really bad games that I find in the garbage. But welcome. I hope you had a wonderful time. And Kappa, I hope you had a great stream. Oh my gosh. Silent Hill is one of my absolute favorite games ever. And I become highly passionate talking about it. Because I love it. It's my favorite. Silent Hill to Silent Hill? Having trouble with the tank controls? I can understand that. Did you figure out you can strafe yet? Did you figure out there's a quick turn? How about the back step? I think a lot of people don't use that one.
Except if Bunt gets obsessed, then all streams get co-opted into just playing that. It's cute. See AC6 and Lies of P.
Yeah. You'll break up. I'm sorry. Gosh. All right, where did they put the map in here? Here it is, next to the map of the US. You know what? It's a school. You can have one of those in here. That's fine. Just played Liza P 3 times in a row. I fucking love it. This goes so good. I don't know how to backstep. Hold down sprint, press back. You can do it while aiming too. It's quite nice. One snake eater, I'll get to it. M. Vulpine, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Welcome to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty, and thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. So here's what I want to talk about. All right. I'm gonna go over it really quick again. Because I was in, oh gosh. Cheryl might be here. So, imagine in the 1990s, you're a Japanese developer. You've been put onto a dev team with like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 14 people and told, we need a Resident Evil game. We need a game that's like Resident Evil, except we make the money instead of Capcom, right? No worries, Cuppa. Have a great time. When this happens, yeah, you decide you want to set your game in the US and be inspired by stuff like Stephen King novels. And you know that you need to have a middle school in it, but you've only gone to Japanese middle school. What does an American middle school look like? You don't have enough money to fly there and find out. So what do? You go to Blockbuster. You don't actually go to Blockbuster. You know what I'm saying. You go to Blockbuster and you rent a movie that's got a school in it. Like, for example, Kindergarten Cop. The hit Arnold Schwarzenegger film Kindergarten Cop. You go and rent Kindergarten Cop. And, you know, you just borrow posters and design elements from the school they've got in the movie, right? Because like it's free real estate. I think that's a great choice. What is very funny to me is that because of this choice, what they wind up with is what look almost like American school floors and walls and doors. Kind of. This is a little bit ornate for like an American school. But sure. Okay. You got your hallways with your lockers and everything. Yeah, sure. Okay. You got an American school in aesthetic. But the thing is, you've built it with a clock tower and a giant courtyard in a square, like a Japanese school. Not like an American one. You look at an American middle school and they're like L-shaped, maybe U-shaped. Like, generally you wind up with a building that's kind of got its courtyard off to the side. Like, yeah, there's a gym or a cafeteria or something, and that's not the... I did not see this as weird. As an American, it's incredibly weird, yeah. To have it built around a courtyard like this, that does not happen. Yeah, so, very strange. I think it's great. It's weird. It's a cute mix of like almost like a Japanese layout with like American aesthetics just kind of skinned over it. It's very cute. Jazz, thank you for the follow. Me for in Whiskers. How are you? Yeah, I love stuff like, oh my gosh, the locker room down here. Like, why do you have a locker room that doesn't abut into the gym? That's where that should go, right? You go to the locker room so that you can change before you go into gym. What else is a locker room for? My high school had an internal courtyard. High schools and colleges sometimes will, but I don't think middle schools are well known for that. Personally, you do get some private schools that do stuff like this. I will say a lot of public schools don't though. Awkward and Chef, thank you for the follows, me fur and whiskers. At least the lab equipment's right next to the laboratory. True. Yeah. Middle school had an internal courtyard? Well, maybe I'm wrong then. I don't know. I just think the idea of having an internal courtyard and a clock tower is just kind of not the most American thing. Just saying. Bougie as fuck. Exactly. Yeah. And also roof access is a little weird, yeah. New England private school. Ooh. Ooh. Gosh. More Ronaldo Gordon. This must be a list of teachers. Gordon? I love all these bloody notes. I was briefly acquainted with Silent Hill writer Roger Avery, and I credit him for not experiencing Silent Hill Revelation 3D in theaters. Fascinating. I love the behind-the-scenes stuff for this. Huh. It's written in blood. Is blood. There's blood. How big are you in Silent Hill 4? I love Silent Hill 4. It's the worst one to play. I think it's great, though. Like, I love the story of it. I hate the gameplay. 10 o'clock. Alchemy Laboratory. Gold in an old man's palm. The future hidden in his fist. Exchange for sage's water. Was this moo? Is blue. Now you're charging me blood because I don't have enough blood? Confusing game, right? Wise, yeah. 12 o'clock. A place with songs and sound. A silver guidepost is untapped in lost tongues. Awakening at the ordained order. Five o'clock. Darkness that brings the choking heat. Flames render the silence, awakening the hungry beast. Open time's door to beckon prey. Best line in any SH game, because come on, it has to be it's bread. It's how I'm trying to be, for real. For real. This dough is just like me, because I want to feel needed and bread. Yeah. Heck. Heckin'. Oh my god. 3 is some of the greatest audio design in any video game, and then 4 has cartoon burps. It is funny. It is funny. 4 is interesting because it's the most understandable Silent Hill game. Because there's a character that just pops out of the ceiling and tells you the plot. It's kind of great, actually. It's quite nice. God, I love the way this game sounds. Alright, so let's check the clock tower. The hands are stopped at 10 o'clock. Okay. So what's our schedule for 10 o'clock? You know how every American middle school has that big giant clock? That nurse burping down the stairs had to be intentional? I believe it is. If I was going to guess, I would say that corpses are known for expelling gases. That is a thing that happens after you die. And dead bodies burping is a thing that is known to happen and is incredibly creepy. If I was gonna, like, charitably explain, I would say that maybe it's that kind of a thing. However, I don't know. It's also kind of like they had some stock sound effects. They're working with what they got. So we need gold in an old man's palm, the future hidden in his fist, exchange for sage's water in the alchemy laboratory, which I'm gonna guess, well, there is a laboratory in the school, right? Right upstairs? Let's go check it out. Oh, that's locked. My former middle school was a former bunker built for the Cold War. I think most public schools were built in the 1950s in order to withstand nuclear bombs. Which is why they're made out of, like, those fucking bricks. Which are not bomb-proof. But whoever sold them to the US government said that they were. Because it's a fucking ripoff. Yay! The American economy is built on scams. I love it. Yo, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So, fun fact. Y'all probably know this, but when this game was released in Europe, they changed the enemies in this area. These ones are called... I'm gonna get this wrong because I don't care about the monster names in Silent Hill. But I'm gonna say these ones are called Mumblers, and they replaced them with Claw Hands, which are an enemy that shows up later in the sewers. They're a little more green, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Here's another fun fact for you, though.
Somebody made a map for Doom 2 that recreates this entire school building.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty cool and spooky, even with you having access to the greatest shotgun in video games. A friend in need's a friend indeed. A friend with weed is better.
So, here's another weird little fact for you. Which, I've forgotten now, because I have ADHD. I don't remember. I'm Bunny. Brain empty. Head empty. I'm Bunny.
No, Paige has bun brain.
Cool. I upgraded my model this year. I have UHD. Oh, damn. That's got a dynamic color range on it too, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Ah! I remembered what I was thinking. Ah!
Don't make him Angie or he'll thump his widow feet.
Okay. There's a newspaper clipping that shows up in the school in this game. But not all the time. Let me find it real quick. No, I want the Silent Hill one. newspaper from 7 years ago. Yes. Here it is. All right. So there's a newspaper clipping that only shows up in the European release of this game. Now that sounds weird and non-canon, right? But here's the weird thing is that it's in the data of every version of the game. And it was translated for the US version. It's just that the trigger to cause it to appear was bugged in the US and Japanese releases. So while all of the text was translated, it didn't exist anywhere other than in the data. And when they released it in Europe, they fixed it. They just fixed the bug that caused it not to appear, which is kind of fascinating. Yeah, it's called Newspaper from 7 years ago. And I admittedly am using the Silent Hill wiki right now. Just don't blame me. I'm just going to read the text that's in the article. I'm not going to read their fucking wiki shit. Enemies were supposed to be cut. No. These enemies are supposed to be here. They changed the European release because of they really don't like it when you murder children in a video game. They've got weird shit about children. The UK gets really weird about kids. It's gross. So yeah, okay. Hey, here's the original article says, investigation stalled. PTV dealers still at large. Suspicious deaths continue. First, the anti-drug mayor, now a narcotics officer, dies of a sudden heart failure of unknown cause. Are there others? It's pretty old. Fire broke out in town, 6 homes destroyed. Charred body of Alessa Gillespie 7 found in aftermath. Cause of fire under investigation. Show source as basement of Gillespie home. Blaze now believed caused by malfunction of antiquated boiler. The date of the blaze. It's the same day we found Cheryl. Now, this is really important info for the story.
That'll be the underground coal fire.
No! That's actually pretty important info for the story. And it's like, you should be able to find it right here in this school. And due to a bug, you don't. So like, I don't know. Do you wanna consider that canon? You can if you want to. The fist shut tight as if never to let go. Both of those things are brought up again. I know. But they give us a little more detail. For some reason, Silent Hill Origins tries to retcon the cause of the fire. I don't know why.
At the top of my stairs meant to deter filthy invaders from absconding with my tea and spices.
Like a bottle. There is a chemical. What are we gonna do with chemical? Extreme hand sanitizer? You're too right. You are too correct. Concentrated hydrochloric acid. Yeah, that'll sanitize your hands right the fuck off. That'll sanitize the skin right off them hands. Whoo. Game protagonist refused to pick up an item. I know, right? Don't mistake this glass bottle containing chemicals for your other bottle containing chemicals, except you're supposed to drink that one. I assume that distilled water isn't for drinking. So it turns out that chemical was a solution to this problem. Even though it's not a solution, it's a solvent. It's a gold medallion, I take it. I'm sorry. Solvents can be solutions, but this joke is wrong. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my joke is factually inaccurate. I apologize. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to be wrong. Woo! I love the squeaky little ones. Those squeaky little ghosts are the best.
Just to tell you that you are a very, very bad bun.
Oh. Well, okay.
See me after stream.
Having the squeak ghosts literally fall down. They do. They're so cute. They're so funny. Dressed up the puzzle of this game and gave us hydrochloric acid. Constituent of aqua regia. Interesting. I wonder if things like alchemy are going to come back later. I wonder if things like alchemy are going to be important. These were dissolving gold, and then we get the gold medallion from it. Yeah. Alchemy's nuts. Okay, listen. Does Harry have any reason to be doing all of this, or is he doing it because we're piloting him in a video game? He's doing it because he's like the best dad. He's like, my little girl is somewhere in this town, and I don't care how many fucking monsters I have to kill to get her back. The hands are stopped at 12. He's a little bit cool. He's the GOAT. I love this, man. Alright, so here's another thing that this game does that I love.
You're making him sound like Charles Bronson in a Death Wish movie.
Basically. He calls up the cult's god and he's like, I will find you and I will kill you. Like he's from fucking Taken. So my next door neighbor's being loud again, I'm sorry. My neighbor's a locomotive. So here's another running trend in this game that I kind of love. Shush. So another running trend in this game that I love is when you are presented with dialogue or text that doesn't make any sense in the moment, and you go, what the fuck is that? And then when you go back and do it again, you wind up picking up a lot of the details that some other character had that you didn't, right? This is the kind of game where playing through it again is the best way to understand it. And I think the endings of this game encourage you to do so, because in order to get either of the plus endings of this game, you have to have seen the good minus ending first. The ending of the game gives you information that you can use in the game to get better endings, which is, I think, fascinating. What a way to do it. What a fascinating way to, like, structure your game. To have an ending that tells the player how to get better endings. I think I got bad minus my first one, which is amazing given what the bad minus ending is. The bad minus ending is great because it 100% makes sense. For like the character and the story, but also it kind of encourages you to go back and try for a better one, doesn't it? So for example, we just used acid to cleanse that hand using an ingredient that's used to melt gold. And the note that told us to do that says, gold in an old man's palm, the future hidden in his fist, exchange for sage's water. So like, now it makes sense, right? So the gold is in the old man's palm, because obviously there's a gold medallion in the fist. The future is the golden sun. No, when we put the gold medallion in the clock, time advanced from 10 to 12. So the future we accessed, by getting that gold medallion, exchanged for sage's water, also known as aqua regis, hydrochloric acid, the kind of aqua regia. So now all of this fits together, doesn't it? It makes much more sense when you read it again.
The good minus ending tells you that to get the good ending, you need to subscribe to Lucky_Bun on Twitch.com.
Oh, that's true, actually. You do get a good ending for that. I will give you a happy ending if you subscribe to me on Twitch.com. Did I say... I meant good ending? Sorry, I meant good ending. I'm sorry. That's false advertising. How do I subscribe harder? Tier 2. Or 3. I'm kidding. Don't actually do that. Oh my god.
Wait, I was not made aware of this. I've been subscribed for years. Can I get my rewards back paid?
Yes, but all at once.
I'm already T2.
You gotta think long and hard about whether you want that or not.
Now watch as Bun sees someone actually subscribe at tier 3 and he starts apologizing profusely.
Oh my god. Simon! Oh my god! Alright, fine. Alright, come on over here. Oh my god. One pleasant conclusion, please. Alright. Goodness. A place with songs and sound. A silver guidepost is untapped in lost
but I have 100
tongues.
bits. Will this do?
Yeah, that works. 12, thank you. Oh my goodness. Silver guidepost is untapped in lost tongues, awakening at the ordained order. Oh, was the DDR machine sticky? Oh, we had a spill. It's fine. It's nothing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Welcome. Goodness. I don't mean to be like this. This is just the way I is.
Man, we really gotta clean up the Q zone sometime. It's starting to smell funky.
God. I love this camera angle too. This is another good one. It's not like a horror reveal. It's just the piano. The piano. Love a piano. I think I'm gonna do this in a second.
No, you don't. You don't get to apologize for, and I quote, how you is. I love how you is.
Entropy, no! Oh my god. Entropy, thank you for the tier 3 sub. Jeez.
Is the cum zone in Silent Hill.
I don't know why you'd do that, but thank you. No, Silent Hill sadly does not have a cum zone. No.
And here we are.
This one is so fluid and mobile. I wish there was more of that. I totally agree. I think I can guess the puzzle. Ooh. Okay, I would love that. So, we got a piano. We've got keys stained in blood. Does this mean anything? We can... tippity tap them. Some of them appear broken. Okay. And we have some music here, written in blood. A tale of birds without a voice. First flew the greedy pelican, eager for the reward, white wings flailing. Then came a silent dove, flying beyond the pelican as far as he could. A raven flies in, flying higher than the dove, just to show that he can. A swan glides in to find a peaceful spot next to another bird. Finally, out comes a crow, coming quickly to a stop, yawning and then napping. Who will show the way? Who will be the key? Who will lead to the silver reward? Burn really quickly through cum zone janitors. That's all volunteer work. Some people are into it. So. That's me. I'm Bun. How are you, Indian? Antian? Oh. So. I'm just going to solve this puzzle, but if you want to solve it for yourself, then you want to pay attention to the words without a voice, silent, all of these seem to be a recurring theme here. No, bits, I'm sorry. First flew the greedy pelican, eager for the reward. Pelicans, white wings. Okay. Then came a silent dove, flying beyond the pelican as far as he could. A raven flies in higher than the dove. Swan glides in to find a peaceful spot next to another bird.
The rest of my bits. Blow my load, if you will.
Thank you, Switch. Out comes a crow, coming quickly to a stop, yawning and then napping. Okay. It's the keys which do not work. That seems to be the clue. So which ones do we have? This one. This one. This one. This one. And this one. Okay. Play the silent keys in a certain order. I guess the raven and crows are black keys. Correct. We got 2 black keys, one here and one here. The top and the bottom one. And then we got these 2 and this white one. Exactly. This is actually a decent logic puzzle. I know, right? And translated decently, too. So you can actually figure it out pretty well. First flew the greedy pelican. So we're not sure where he sits. But the term's eager for the reward. I'm guessing he probably does it pretty quickly. Probably sits down pretty quick. Then came the dove flying as far as he could. So that's probably all the way at the end, right? The raven flies in higher than the dove, though. So that's probably the black key next to him. Swan glides in to find a peaceful spot next to another bird. So he's not next to the raven, but he could be next to the dove. Because there's 2 white keys that are next to each other. Out comes a crow, coming quickly to a stop, yawning and then napping, right? So you would say, okay, well...
So in short, the bird is the word.
Correct. So the only space that a white key could be next to another is actually this one, which is next to the dove. So the pelican must be this one. So you'd go, pelican goes here, the dove flies as far as he could, then the raven flies higher, then the swan sits next to another bird, and then the crow comes out and sits down quickly. Right? I think it's a good puzzle. It's pretty good. I broke it. And then we get the silver reward, which is a silver medallion.
Bun and his Pazuzus.
I just like Pazuzus. Can you blame me? Ah. Y'all leave me alone. Every time a kid plays a specific set of notes, the teacher had to pick that medal back up. So I'm going to say that the piano is not like that usually. The puzzles in this game are... if I say the term, a creation of the nightmare. That's something I haven't explained yet, but I will later.
This game presents a creature that Bun truly fears more than all others, children.
I do hate children. They're so gross. Tower door is locked. The hands are stopped at 5. Okay. Let's see if I can check out that other hallway real quick. Both the monsters and the puzzles are manifestations of the supernatural weirdness. Precisely. And a specific person's supernatural weirdness, but we'll get to that. Oh, I hate those things. Bathrooms. Silent Hill's got a thing for bathrooms. Look, I appreciate it. It's fucking weird. Resident Evil went to various lengths to justify its weird medallion collecting puzzles, and Silent Hill is just like, it's dark magic, I don't gotta explain shit. Very much so. And I kinda like either. I kinda like both. They're both fun. Oh! He was really
here's a
going
thing.
with that
In the
knife.
event of a societal collapse, would people actually respect the concept of gendered bathrooms?
Oh, I don't see why. Yeah, some people are drinking that gender juice, like drinking that gender Kool-Aid pretty hard. Okay. I want to show off my favorite scare in this whole game. It's the best. It's my favorite. I'm going to walk us through it because I got to explain how it works. There will be a jump scare. It doesn't happen yet though. It happens later, okay? This is one of my favorites. This locker room steers you around using the camera until you come to this moving locker right here. It's quite loud. What is going to jump out of the locker? It's a cat. It's just a cat. How did it open the door? Oh. Uh-oh. And nothing inside. Commonly known as a cat scare. Don't worry, I'll explain why this is my favorite one ever. Kitty gonna be okay? Yeah, probably fine. The cat's probably fine. Yeah, I didn't see any blood. It's probably fine.
Gender juice is what Bun's new piece of merch is dropping.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Ah, yes, the good old spring-loaded cat. Nothing like a scare that actually has no stakes to get the BPM up.
Oh, don't worry. That spring-loaded cat there, that cheap cat jump scare, is actually just the setup for the best scare in the game. Don't worry. That wasn't it. It's just setup. There is payoff. So, here's the clue for the thing with the birds we did. A place with songs and sound, a silver guidepost is untapped in lost tongues, aka silent, awakening at the ordained order, i.e., you push the keys in the order, and they're the quiet keys. Pardon me. Jeez. I sound like one of those nurses from SH4. So now we have darkness that brings the choking heat. Flames render the silence, awakening the hungry beast. Open time's door to beckon prey.
To pay off, I promise. You'll see.
So this is a weird way of saying go to the boiler room. Right? This is a weird way of saying go and check the furnace. Effective, though. Like, I like it. It's cool. end up checking all the rooms in the entire place anyway. I think most people would.
Is that where we meet Freddy Krueger?
Yeah. You know, I've been talking about, like, you know, dreams and nightmares and things. Just makes sense. Freddy would show up, you know? Ah, the hidden beast. That makes sense. Freddy would take one look at Silent Hill and be like, fuck, I can't quip about this mess. I mean... maybe the later games. Freddy should know better than to show up in my nightmares. He keeps getting his ass whooped. What are you, a dream warrior? Shoot. Like later in Discord. Alright, cool. Oh, here's another fun thing. Is that this optical exam is really clearly a Japanese one. I just want to... Okay, so you know how American eye exams have letters on them? Here we go. Here's what an eye chart looks like in Japan. See these circles? You have to look at them and tell which direction the circle is, the opening in the circle is. Yeah. This is what they look like. They're not letters. Kind of interesting though, right? Kind of interesting. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I'm just into boring shit like that. The fuck is this Blade Runner 2049 baseline test? Oh, you mean the Voight comp test? Eye exam lore. But yeah, this is kind of clearly that. Like they're all different circles. It's cute. I don't know. It's pretty. It's just kind of cute. Silent Hill Hospital.
Here's an eye chart bun. Joke's on you. I'm into this shit.
Trying to scare me with an eye chart.
As someone who plays Dead by Daylight, I can tell you this school isn't lore accurate. Not nearly enough meat hooks or generators. You, Bun, are a false prophet Lucky Bunenji.
Yeah. Bimbo friend, thank you so much for the tip. Oh my goodness. Game breaks the Geneva Convention by using a red cross. This was before they got pissy about their fucking stupid copyright. Alright, now we can descend into the clock tower.
Beware the false page.
You will know him by his mark. It's a womb tattoo. I love this game. It's one of my favorites. I love this game so fucking much. Paste. I was not expecting the clock tower to go down. Isn't that interesting? Like, the fact that it goes down instead of up is the first subversion of expectations. The second one is then exiting from the same building you just entered.
Where am I? Have I been here before?
Two or three has to be my favorite of the series. Yeah!
I don't remember this being here before.
We gotta talk about this real quick. Yo, look at this. This is... What do I want to call this? Do I want to call this the Mark of Samael, or do I want to say it's the Seal of Metatron? I'm gonna say it's the... At this point in the story, it's the Seal of Samael. Yay! Samael, sir, not appearing in this game. We do not, that is not a real thing. That's not a real person, doesn't show up in the series. So.
This subversion of expectations is not finding Scissorman in the clock tower.
For real. So, this right here is inadvertently the reason that everything gets dark instead of foggy. It inadvertently, and I'm going to leave that an open question. But I also do want to point out that this is slightly different than something that shows up in Silent Hill 3, because people get confused between this one and the Halo of the Sun, which is a thing that shows up in Silent Hill 3 and it's got 3 circles in it instead of a triangle. It's a different thing. It's a very different thing. Which games have you covered with critical analysis yet but want to? Oh, that's a good question. I'll try to think about it. Triangle and circle is very bad. Any interest in playing Cyberpunk 2077 now that it's good? I always thought it was good. I love that game. That game's been good. People didn't appreciate it because they had some fucking glitches in it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it's got glitches. Yeah. So, you know what's interesting about this mark right here is that it's actually not bad. It's good. It's actually very good. Oh, it's also very weird though. I played it because transphobic devs? Oh, I think one of the... Did one of the artists seem like kind of a chaser? I think that's what happened. I think that's all that happened actually. Yeah, I remember that, Drago. Yeah, it seemed like the artist who worked on that seems like a bit of a chaser. Said some weird comments. Hey, look, the map markers are all gone. This is my beautiful school. These are my horrible children. Like the big question in the courtyard. What the fuck? Did many, many little things wrong. I 100% agree. I love the way the game turned out. But I agree with that. Rooms like this are so fucking good. Gosh. Okay, so we've got humanoid dolls hanging from these walls, and if you look behind them, you can see some kind of human shapes in sacks. Also hanging from the walls. These fucking things. They're very creepy. Where's this door go? Doesn't actually say. Well, that's not an exit. Oh, I love that you can see a thing behind the fan. Just chilling out. Just hanging out. Big fan of this. Whoo. So the benefit of a game like this, which has somewhat limited graphics, is that you're able to present things like this, and instead of going, ooh, there's a body behind that fan, it's, oh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That looks sus. That looks incredibly sus. I saw him vent. I saw it. It's happening right now. Yeah, okay, I deserve those. Yo, Ma, look at this weird cat. There's a weird cat in the yard. Ma, come look at this fucking thing. I don't know what that noise I just made was, but it was a response to seeing this buggo. Big buggo. It kind of looks like Grandma. It's gonna be an issue with Silent Hill PS2 onwards. The higher fidelity makes them significantly less scary. It can, yeah. It can. There's still moments in 3. I think 3 and 4 actually are the scariest in the series. They have some intense moments of, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, incredibly intense. Yeah, Silent Hill 4 was the scariest to me as well, I think. Your brain tree died, made me so uncomfortable. The uncomfortable thing for me was, in Silent Hill 3 in the beginning, you go through an abandoned apartment building, and on the ground floor there is a thing that is keeping you there until you recite a poem, and I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what the fuck it is. You never find out. You never find out. It's just really fucked up. You're the Beast. Oh, it's just Mr. Beast. Okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Stanley is scary as fuck. He's not that bad. He's dead. I mean, it is the notes he leaves you are really creepy, though. But he's underground now. His new name is Number 7. Don't worry about him. It's fine. Oh, I love these walls. These are so good. Happy birthday to you. Actually, another preconception that people believe that is not true is the happy birthday caller is not Stanley. The happy birthday caller and Stanley are two different people. Some people think they're the same person, and it's weird. It's weird to me. Like, he literally tells you he's not. I don't know why that's a thing people think. Stage 4 probably lends itself best to an adaptation of the first 4 games. I think I'd agree with that. It's got the most understandable story of any of the first 4 Silent Hill games. Tells you he's not, but why should you believe him? I mean, he doesn't lie to you. Then again, every character in that game lies to you. That is a game about lying to you. The game itself lies to you. Silent Hill 3 is a game they made because people complained when Silent Hill 2 didn't answer narrative questions from SH1. People were like, oh, Silent Hill 2 didn't explain what the fuck was going on in the first game. And the devs were like, yeah, that's the point. And then Konami was like, we'd like you to make a game where you explain the things that happen in the first game. And they're like, how about we make a game that deliberately doesn't do that? How about we make a game that lies to the player? Creates doubt and uncertainty in their mind? And gives them unreputable sources that explain things that seem to be just propaganda. Is this a door? Me when I spread misinformation. Certainly won't open. Stage 3 has Sexy Beam? It does. I do like that. Is that where we get, oh, they look like monsters to you? Correct. The game is creating uncertainty in the player.
Game, is this a door? Me, is this a Bnui?
A Bnui. Vagueness, when used appropriately, is a powerful tool in horror. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Yeah, characters like Vincent are untrustworthy. Who are not necessarily lying to you. Like, they often tell you the truth. But it also kind of fits their agenda whenever they do it. Also, we're on the 2nd floor now.
Take a shot for each time Lovecraft says something along the lines of too horrible to describe.
Because, like, immediately after saying something like, they look like monsters to you, Vincent will go ahead and say something like, don't worry, it's just a joke. Yeah, by the way, the girls' room in this school is an interdimensional portal that transports you between the 1st and 2nd floors. Fucking explain that. I can explain that. Because it's dream logic. I like this room quite a bit. Guess I'll take that shotgun. Thanks. I like the IV bags. Why would somebody Leonard Rhine, the monster lurks. By the way, unrelated to another character named Leonard who shows up in SH3. Because that's Leonard Wolf. Yeah, different guy. Leonard Rhine is a character that is not a character. Sir not appearing in this game, actually.
Hey, free shotgun. Thanks, dude.
Thanks. This is actually... Gosh. Okay. I want to explain Leonard Rhine.
Why would someone? The answer is obvious. They wanted to be well hung lucky bun pun.
Oh my gosh. So, this is very interesting to me. So, in the Silent Hill movie, this is a character. They turn this into a guy. They make him like a pedophile janitor. And then he winds up like strung up like this later. And you're supposed to go, yay! They killed that pedophile, all right. Good job. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the emotional reaction is supposed to be from the movie. Okay, so that's not a thing in this game. That is not at all related to this character. Goodness, Phil. Hello. How are you? Oh, can we get a shout out for Fel? I would love that. Okay. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Tom, it's good to see you. I hope you had a great time streaming. Booped. I'm just gushing about Silent Hill in here. I felt yay about at least one death in that movie. Just don't know if it was that one. Yeah. I mean, it just turned into like a monster thing. Yeah. The director is incredibly yikes. Like David Cage levels of yikes to me. I don't like Christoph Gans very much at all. But that's me, and that's a story for another night. What I want to talk about with Leonard right here is the fact that what Leonard is doing here is being foreshadowing. He's supposed to be ratcheting up the tension, because what you're looking at is a body strung up. You're given a shotgun and you see a bloody message that says the monster lurks. What this is supposed to do is be building up your apprehension for going forward and foreshadowing the monster that you're going to be fighting at the end of this area. It's very similar to the newspaper article you find in front of the apartment building in Silent Hill 2, which talks about Walter Sullivan, who says, "The Red Devil killed them. I didn't do it. The Red Devil killed them. It's after me now." Just before you walk into the apartment building and see Pyramid Head for the first time. The Red Devil is foreshadowing for that encounter. It's not the same thing. Walter Sullivan didn't literally see Pyramid Head. That's not what happened. But it's meant to be anticipation for the player, right? That's what this is doing, in my opinion. I need more health to play with. The issue with it? Oh yeah, the Silent Hill 4's gameplay is not fun. Oh, should we look for some of the... There's posters in some of the classroom walls, isn't it great? I think they thought of Walter as a character then. They just later used the name for the connection. Exactly, yes. Yeah, they filled him in later. Can't use the phone. Foreshadowing, it doesn't have to be exactly only setting up the right sort of thing. Exactly, it's setting a tone, right? Happy birthday. Oh no, that's in 3.
Cheryl!
Hey, remember when I said the use of technology has been related to aspects of the supernatural? In that, like, for instance, your radio is affected by the monsters walking around. Now we've got a little girl calling through a telephone that doesn't seem to be plugged in. I just want to point that out because it's a thing that I like to see. I enjoy it. Gives me them good horror vibes. Whoever heard of a wireless telephone? That would be ridiculous. Oh gosh. I want to go back to...
The three types of parents. Mumble, thunder, thunder.
Thunder. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Boop, boop, doop. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. Banana phone. Okay. So hey, remember that cat scare from earlier? Remember that cat scare? I fucking love this so much. Okay. Oh hey, it's the same thing again. Are they gonna do the same scare twice? Why would they do the same scare twice? That would be silly. This camera angle's different though. Except when you interact with this thing, it just goes... Yeah, get ready for a scare. Nothing inside. So, okay. So, jump scare warning. For all of y'all who want one of those. Because that is so good! The cat scare is a setup so that when you get back to the locker, they fake you out with a locker full of blood and then hit you with the jump scare. It's perfect. Oh my god, you're expecting repetition and there's that huge swerve. It's so good. One of my favorites. Is the liquid kitty okay? Yeah, probably. Oh god. Okay. I could just gush about this game all day, but that is a perfect setup and payoff. I saw someone experience this live recently. I was so happy. It's probably the most you'll jump playing this game. Cat is too wet. Can I get another one? Sorry to hear about your soaking puss.
You haven't convinced me that the cat from before is alright, and I'm beginning to think that it hasn't been sent to a farm upstate.
Explain wet and dry cat. No, it's a good cat. Order the cat. Open the cat. It's wet. shake my head. Creepy and wet. So, by the way, there's another mark. This puzzle... I like it, but it has a problem.
Bun is a gusher. Confirmed.
You haven't really mentioned that there are 2 versions of every area, one more normal and one's the industrial aesthetic. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is raining here instead of snowing, right? Okay. I don't know how much I want to talk about it before I'm able to explain it. If that makes sense. Hanging key just out of reach. So, this puzzle is not telegraphed very well. Nothing special. Is it 2 perspectives on the same world? Neither. It is one world being changed by an outside influence. We are in the same school, but it has physically changed. I will explain more when we get there. So, I guess the blood here is your kind of like tell that you're supposed to be looking down
A
there.
girl who can describe and go into exact detail about you, the same way Bunalysis Silent Hill and talk about all things Silent Hill.
Aww. Is it in layers still? Not exactly. Okay, and then you can see that the water is going in the hole, and he says maybe I should plug that up now. So... It is signposted once you get here, but, like... It's not very obvious that you should be interacting with the floor on the roof.
Wrong
You
hole.
know?
No such thing.
That said, this ain't a bad puzzle. A lot of water pressure. Key went down the drain. So now we gotta go find the output for that drain. Which should be easy enough.
Water go down the hole.
My cellular bananular phone. Sorry. So, hey, question. Are y'all familiar at all with a little book called Rosemary's Baby? Are you familiar at all with a little movie called Poltergeist? Have y'all ever heard of a Stephen King novel by the name of Carrie? That's the important one, I think. I think that's the most important one. Are you kids familiar with a little book called The Bible? Harry's a pretty good dad, but you know who was something of a father to us all? Spin my chair around. This says the Bible. So, something that I think is interesting in this game, actually in all the Silent Hill
person,
games.
Do you know who's awesome, radical, and tubular? Jesus.
Hey, Amelia, how are you? Exactly, Thalia. Alright, so here's the thing that Silent Hill, up until Silent Hill 4 does, that none of the ones after bother doing. In Silent Hill 1, the monsters, the nightmare, the other world are created by a little girl with psychic powers. That's not the case in Silent Hill 2. In Silent Hill 2, it's created by a spiritual power that resides beneath the town. In Silent Hill 3, it's caused by the embryo of a god residing inside the reincarnation of Alessa. Affected by the verdant faith of a cultist. In Silent Hill 4, it's a series of sacrifices which give the power of God to a serial murderer who uses it to create a dream that he pulls himself into and winds up escaping. After Silent Hill 4, they stop explaining why the town is weird.
I'm familiar with a film called Jacob's Ladder.
In Silent Hill, like every Silent Hill after, it's not explained at all. In Origins, it's technically one again. It's not, actually. Because in Origins, they talk about a world inside the mirrors that's existed since the 1970s. And also, the thing in the mirror is not Alessa's nightmare because she hasn't had the nightmare yet. It's the result of 7 years of being tortured inside a hospital's basement. So in Origins, it's just, I don't know, there's a creepy world inside the mirrors. And then in every Silent Hill game after that, it's just town haunted.
You done hecked up when Bun pushes up his glasses and says, well, actually.
Yeah, they don't even explain it. But I think it's really cool that in the first 4 Silent Hill games, they have a different explanation for each of them. And they all work together. They're all connected. Origins was a straight up actual demon, if I recall, which might be correct. Yeah, that might be pretty close to it, yeah. But here's something that I might be wrong about, and I'm willing to be wrong about this. This one I'm not saying is a thing that exists inside the game, but is my interpretation. But there is a cult that exists in Silent Hill worshiping their god, and I think they're wrong. I think their god is made the fuck up and doesn't exist. And that's not necessary for the story to make sense. It works either way. But I don't see a lot of people taking that interpretation. Even though I think it's pretty easy to, like, I think it's pretty convincing. You fight their god in this game? You fight a monster in this game? Sure. Is it different than any of the other monsters in this game, though? Oh. Oh, also, tiny nitpick, the cult's god is not called Samael. That's not the thing.
God, and I believe their god is bullshit.
Yeah, their god is bullshit. All of this could be caused by people's belief in their god, rather than being caused by any god. I just think they're wrong. Magic does exist, though. And also psychic powers. Those are real. Hearing this, the hunter armed with a bow and arrow said, "I will kill the lizard." Upon meeting his opponent, he held back, taunting, "Who's afraid of a reptile?" At this, the furious lizard hissed, "I'll swallow you up in a single bite." See how I'm trying to be, I tell you. It's Then the huge creature attacked, jaws open wide. This was what the man wanted. He just like me. He just like me for real. Calmly drawing his bow, he shot into the lizard's gaping mouth. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw. And the lizard fell down dead. And then he said, "Ooh woo." This is from an old fairy tale. I remember reading it as a kid. Have you finished Lost? No, we're on season 6. We're going to start season 6 next week. Excited.
Yeah, this one's too easy. This gets a pass.
That fairy tale? Star Trek. Oh, suddenly the tarts are unclogging. That's why I have a children's fairy tale has vor, but no, that sounds about right for Mother Goose. Yeah, basically. It's true, most lizards don't keep their bulletproof scales on the inside of their mouths. It's true. That's their weakness. The sexual theory of fairy tales is one of those things that I class as this tells me more about you than it does about fairy tales. I feel that way about anyone's interpretation of monsters in Silent Hill. Not to tie it back into the thing we're doing, but a lot of people talking about interpretations of monsters in Silent Hill, I feel like says way more about them than the game Silent Hill. What about Fukuro? Fukuro's pretty cool. I'd hang out with her. She seems neat. Actually, you know what? Fukuro says less about Silent Hill or the players and more about Masahiro Ito. Fukuro tells me a lot about Masahiro Ito. God bless that man. Oh.
My interpretation of Pyramid Head is, him
Right.
have dirty apron and funny hat and big sword. Him scary.
Right. Right. Left. No, wait, I got it. just take me a second. Weird hangups on circumcision. Anyway, time to go make this everyone else's problem. Almost exactly, yes. Ugh, I completely forget the way you do this in one, like, in 3 turns. 'Cause I'm silly. Like a lights out puzzle?
No,
Kinda, yeah.
Lord Nui.
That's what Valtiel has to do all day, all fucking day, every day. Just cranking it. Just all day cranking it. He said he liked puzzles. He never said he was good at them. Exactly. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Alright, hang on. I got it, okay. Silent Hill counts as a cognito hazard. Time downpour rolls around, enough people have been affected by the town being all weird. I'm honestly surprised the federal government hasn't cordoned off the place. Yeah, the thing is, like I said, the town's not weird until, like, later. That's a thing that gets added in the later games. It is weird with the cult thing. Oh, the cult's weird, for sure. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank goodness. All right. Took me long enough. Jeez. Town is semi-functioning as long as no foreigner has a car crash in it. So...
Again.
No, the town's pretty much abandoned and has been for a couple years now. It's a tourist town in the off-season. Like, I'm sure in the on-season there's more people here, but... Like... That's lit, fam. Do the kids say that? Is that a thing kids say? Hey, check it out! It's Burning Man! Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Alright. You don't say it anymore. Okay. Alright. That's me then. That's on me. Ow. This guy give me a big push. Oh, I love how it drools. It just leaves little drippy drips.
Holy crap, it's a native mole rat.
Oh my god, it's so mean. Playing on easy? Yeah, I am. Moles drool. I mean... Alright, not too bad. Very easy.
Okay, who called Siren Head here?
What was that? Who in the hell was that?
Is this a boiler room? What is going on here? Kay Gordon. That was one of the teachers listed. The last clue in the book area with the things. Yeah, the burning and the... I hear a church bell, maybe? Who is ringing the bell? Maybe a different boiler room, yeah. Nope. Same boiler room. Yeah, let's see if we can get the note again. Rotten to Core, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. Oh my gosh. Ah, all the notes are gone.
Going. Bingo?
Ah, all the notes are gone. Interesting. Okay, Gordon, that's it. I'll note the address down on the map. Yo. Rad. So now Kay Gordon's address is going to be on our map. We can head straight there. Isn't that nice? Isn't that so nice? I love that. Just one teacher. He's the one whose key we found. We found a key for Kay Gordon. Now we can check his house and use that key there. Alright. I think that's good for me tonight. I'm excited to continue next week. Hi Rod, it's nice to meet you. Oh my goodness. Next time we get to talk about psychic powers and little girls who have them. By the way, I believe now is when you can find that newspaper article, but only if you're playing in the European version of the game. I don't know why. There's just a weird little bug. But yeah, we get to talk about little girls. We get to talk about intrusive thoughts. We get to talk about the human subconscious, the way that nightmares exist, and the reason that Silent Hill is scary, which is not that it manifests monsters that represent your inner demons, because that is not what happens in Silent Hill. The horror of Silent Hill is the idea that someone's intrusive thoughts and nightmares can escape their head and affect the world itself. And I think that's pretty poggers. Okay.
The real horror is the friends we made along the way.
I think it's a cool premise. I think it's really cool. Yeah.